Amid soaring infections in the United States, a breakthrough begins for the nation today. Efforts to distribute the nation's first COVID-19 vaccine are now underway as the historic U.S. vaccine campaign begins. The U.S. FDA granted an emergency use authorization for the Pfizer-BioNTech vaccine last week, which is found to be 95% effective in preventing COVID-19. The vaccine is being allocated to states based on each state's adult population. The states are expected to follow the federal guidance to place healthcare workers and nursing home residents to inoculate with the two-dose regimen given about 3 weeks apart. More than one-third of the U.S. deaths have occurred in long-term care facilities, and over the past 2 weeks, the U.S. has repeatedly exceeded 2,000 COVID-related deaths per day. The U.S. leads the world in deaths related to the coronavirus, which are 299,000. The total COVID infections have crossed 16.3 million mark in the country, out of which more than 1.1 million new cases have been confirmed in the past week itself. Overwhelmed U.S. hospitals are preparing for the first shots, with an initial 2.9 million doses set to be delivered by Wednesday. And the U.S. plans to distribute 40 million vaccine doses by this year's end, followed by 50 to 80 million doses in January and then in February next year. Yet, it will take months before most Americans can get a COVID-19 vaccine. Reports also say that more than 100 million people, or about 30% of the U.S. population, could be immunized by the end of March, but that would still leave the country far short of herd immunity, which could halt virus transmission. Masks and social distancing will be needed for months to control the rampaging outbreak. Now, an official sources informed that U.S. President Donald Trump, Vice President Mike Pence and other top U.S. officials will be offered the vaccine, and essential personnel at the White House and certain officials in all three branches of the government were to be vaccinated within the next 10 days. It was also not clear whether President-elect Joe Biden, Vice President-elect Kamala Harris and other members of Biden's transition team would be offered vaccinations. In another development, a $908 billion bipartisan COVID-19 relief plan is set to be introduced in the United States Congress as early as Monday. Now, in a bid to win approval, the plan will be split into two packages. One will be a $748 billion measure, which contains money for small businesses, the jobless and COVID-19 vaccine distribution, and the other will include liability protections for business and $160 billion for state and local governments.
Co-presented by Skoda. Simply clever.